Hello my Wolfpack and welcome to a brand new theory slash discussion slash speculation video for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, what do we know so far through Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? We know the starters, we know the regions based on Spain, and that is approximately it. That is basically all we know when it comes to Scarlet and Violet. Now, there are a lot of speculations going through at the minute, and today's video I wanted to focus on Eevee. Now, Eevee has been a very hot topic these last few weeks, and I kind of want to get my own 2 pence in, I suppose, and I want to hear your opinions as well. So obviously this is 100% my opinion, 100% my thoughts. If you are thinking something different, or if you have a different theory, let me know down in the comment section below. I'd really love to hear it. But yeah, what I wanted to do today was discuss the likelihood of us getting a new EEVEELUTION or something new with Eevee. And then I'm going to discuss my theories when it comes to that possible new Eevee. So, first of all, I think, as I'm a scientist, I want to try and figure out scientifically, as much as possible, how likely it is that we are going to get a new EEVEELUTION or a new Eevee form of some kind in this game. Now, there are a few reasons that would point to suggest, yes, we are likely going to get a new EEVEELUTION. There are a few things that suggest maybe not. And I'll kind of talk through them here. So, basically, since the game has been created in Gen 1, we had Eevee, which we had Jolteon, Flareon, Vaporeon. Gen 2, we were introduced to Umbreon and Espeon, 2 of my favourite evolutions. And then we skipped to Gen 3, we didn't see new evolutions. Gen 4, we then saw again 2 new evolutions. We saw Glaceon and Leafeon. Skip Gen 5, didn't see a new evolution. Gen 6, we saw Sylveon. Now, that was the last time that we saw an evolution, and looking at that trends, we would look at the likelihood that every even generation we would see a new Eevee. Now, obviously, this becomes a problem, because Generation 8 was Sword and Shield, and Sword and Shield didn't have a new evolution. But that could mean 2 things. One, that we are due a new evolution, or another one meaning that Eevee was used in another way, shape or form that would make sense for it not to have another evolution, but because it was used in some way. And I can't ignore the fact that we got Gigantamax Eevee. There are very few Pokemon that can Gigantamax without being fully evolved. I think the only ones are Pikachu, Meowth and Eevee, which obviously they are 3 very main not fully evolved Pokemon in the series. Pikachu is obviously the mascot. Eevee has become a kind of secondary mascot. We're seeing lots and lots kind of going on with Eevee, especially in promotional materials, or used in the anime, for example, or even in the video games with things like Let's Go Eevee. And then you've got Meowth, and Meowth obviously is kind of the main antagonist Pokemon, I suppose, obviously with Team Rocket. So these 3 Pokemon have some kind of influence, and the fact that we got Gigantamax Eevee suggests to me that maybe that was the replacement for an EEVEELUTION in Generation 8. So we may not be due an evolution. So essentially, we could be due it if we don't take into account Gigantamax Eevee, but at the same time, if we do take into account Gigantamax Eevee, then we're not due a new evolution. And there have also been other opportunities where we could have definitely seen a new evolution. In fact, the one that makes the most sense is Let's Go Eevee. So Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. It made sense for there to be new evolutions there, and I think they did theorise it at the time, and a lot of people were theorising it, with the suggestion about Gorachu. Gorachu was a concept design that the Raichu was going to evolve into, and obviously we could have then had Let's Go Pikachu have Gorachu as a new Pokemon, and then Let's Go Eevee had a new evolution, but that obviously never took place. So there have been places where we have been able to see an evolution, but we haven't seen one currently. Now, other things to factor in when deciding whether or not an evolution is going to happen. One, as I said, Eevee is becoming a secondary mascot to the Pokemon series. It seems to be used all the more frequently. It seems to be in promotional materials. You've got things like Build-A-Bear having all the evolutions, or most of the evolutions at this point. You've got lots of other just general materials. As I said, it's used in the anime. It's become part of like the games with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and it would make sense that we got a new evolution. it would definitely make sense for that to happen. Now, one other thing that could be paid attention is that typically when we've looked at Eevee, we've looked at a new typing. So for example, the Dark type, we got Umbreon. Introduction of the Fairy type, we got Sylveon. Now, we obviously, well, at this point, there doesn't seem to be a new typing involved in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Based on in that central kind of Fiesta Plaza area, not Fiesta, have a Plaza area that has that wheel. It has 18 types, has all 18 of the normal types, and it doesn't have a new typing on there. Now, if they were going to sneak something in, then they could obviously have replaced it purely for that, but I don't see why they would purely replace it for that. So reality is, I don't think we're getting a new typing this generation. I think introducing a new typing right now wouldn't make too much sense. I think personally it makes more sense with Generation 10, but that's not part of this video, so we're not going to discuss it. But yeah, there are possibilities of seeing a new evolution based on the evidence, kind of looking at the fact that we've got, we've skipped the generation potentially to have it on an even generation, so we could be due a new evolution. The idea that it's becoming a mascot Pokemon, so it definitely makes sense to have more evolutions on there, and eventually we probably have all of the typing evolutions. But on the other hand, you've got the idea of factoring in Gigantamax Eevee, and also the fact there's not introduction of a new typing, which means that potentially, you know, we might not see a new Eevee. I think, personally, just based on everything, I would say there's about a 40% chance that we see a new evolution in this game. I'm not going to... I did want to initially go up to 50%, but I just feel that perhaps it's not going to happen. I think a lot of people are getting really excited for it, a lot of people really want it to happen, and I just don't feel like necessarily it is going to happen. I feel like maybe they're preparing, because if you were to bring out, like, I don't know, 3 new evolutions in Generation 10, I think that would be so much more fantastic than introducing one now and then maybe one in Generation 10. So I think definitely there's a possibility, but I also wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a new evolution. But that being said, I have got a couple of theories of if we did have a new evolution in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So my imagination is that we would have one new Eevee or evolution, and there are 2 different theories that I want to go through here. Theory 1 is that we would have a new evolution, so we'd have Eevee and it's all of its normal forms, and we would have one new evolution. For some reason I'm drawing very much to a normal type evolution, because this would be focused on the gimmick, and the gimmick of the game appears to be, and I will stick by this, and if you want to go check out my previous theory on what I call type shift, that would make a lot of sense when it comes to predicting kind of, and like what I'm saying here. So if you want to go check that out first, then please do. But essentially my idea is that there is going to be an item or certain Pokemon that are going to be able to do something called type shift, where they're able to change their typing during a battle. I think that that would be an incredible competitive thing, or competitive idea that would be really, really awesome. And I think that normal type evolution would make sense for this, and it would potentially be able to change into... I think it potentially would be a unique Pokemon in the fact that it would be able to change to different typings, a range of different typings. Kind of similar to how Arceus and Type Null and Silvally, do they both? I don't think Type Null does. But the Pokemon that can type change already, I think that it would definitely make sense for a normal evolution to do that. I think that it would just be a really, really cool idea to have, being able to change its typing. I also have a secondary theory, and I'm not quite sure how this is formulated, and again, you can build on this in the comments if you feel that you've got more ideas for it, but my idea is that we would get a new regional variant of Eevee. So this would be a version of Eevee that potentially would be limited to one evolution, and again have this opportunity to be able to type shift, or maybe not even able to evolve. It might just be able to type shift and might have better stats in general, or based on the type shift that it changed to, it might develop the stats of different Pokemon, of like, for example, like Vaporeon or Umbreon, based on the typing that it goes. So I think that that could be a really cool idea on the fact that it could evolve and then it could change its typings. Or if we had an idea of the regional variant of Eevee, but perhaps there was this idea of type combination where, for example, you'd be able to use hybrids of Thunderstones and Firestones and be able to evolve into a Jolteon, Flareon hybrid, potentially. I think that would be a really, really cool idea. Would definitely take a lot of work and a lot of different ideas, and it would have to be run through with that obviously in mind for other Pokemon as well. And I think that it's an interesting idea, but I'm not quite sure how well it would work in the game. So, kind of to summarize everything, I suppose, I think that there is a chance that we'll see a new evolution in this game. As I said, about 40% is kind of where I'm at now. Obviously, if there's more evidence that comes out later on, then we'll reevaluate that. But currently, I think about 40% chance, and I think that if we do get this new evolution, that one, it will be able to do this, the Gen 9 gimmick, whatever it may be. I'm almost fully convinced myself that it is going to be something based on typings. So I think that that would be a really, really cool thing to happen. So the evolution would be able to type shift. I'm just going to call it type shift because that's kind of how I coined it in my head. But the new evolution would be able to time shift, not time shift, it's not Celebi, type shift, or the fact that we would get a regional variant of Eevee, and it would either be able to use this Gen 9 gimmick to its advantage, similar to how Eevee has this kind of genetic capability to evolve into a large variety of different Pokemon, or perhaps even to evolve into potential hybrids of the original evolutions, or maybe regional forms of the original evolutions, but creating like 9 regional forms when it comes to evolutions, I think would be very difficult, and I think more people would prefer to just see a new typing. So obviously there's the chance for that, but I think those are the kind of the two theories that I'm going to sort of stick with. But please do let me know what your theories are, what your idea of Eevee and the evolutions are in Generation 9. Do you think Eevee's going to evolve? And if so, what do you think is going to be the case here? So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I can't wait to hear all your theories. But yeah, I'm going to finish this up here. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe. Remember to comment down below what your thoughts are. And I'll see you soon.